Bitcoin at 92K. It's the Wild West out there in the crypto market. This thing is relentless. We absolutely pumping. Is this the beginning of the next big leg for BTC to some huge targets? So today we're going to look at a couple of BTC targets. We're going to try and plan the next move. Then I've got full updates on all those altcoin trades that we looked at yesterday. And today I want your charts. I want to chart some of your charts for you. So start dropping them in the chats. We got a big day to go. Let's get right into this. And remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. And today we got AI Ray. Okay, so Rainbow Ray's gone, but here's AI
those
Ray.
Likes.
There we go.
Happy all-time high.
Can you believe this shit? Peanut, okay, peanut. Remember we spoke about this thing. They sent bags of peanut to Donald Trump's wallet. Now, this thing is absolutely ripping today, 268%. And it's dwarfing what Pepe did. Now, guys, tell me. Who got some of that Pepe yesterday? And that thing was a big mover. There was a listing on Robinhood Exchange, so that thing is flying. But all the meme coins are going again. Bonk, Whiff, Floki. So I've got you covered on Brett today. I've got you covered on Whiff. I've got you covered on my beloved Popcat, which isn't even in this list at the moment, but we're going to deal with it. So it's all going down today. So much happening. But let's start with BTC and where we are currently. Now, here's BTC on the 2 hour, and we're at that point where we're looking at things. We don't have levels that we can play with. So all we can use at the moment is the 𝗙𝗥𝗚𝗘 daily pivot. So that is what I've used here at the moment. You can see BTC is rejecting off the top side of the 𝗙𝗥𝗚𝗘 daily pivot. So you can see we had a very tight daily pivot, giving us a very strong move to the upside there. And now we are rejecting at the highs there. So interesting things here, but first line of support for BTC, if we do start rolling over properly here, 89,680, that is going to be our first zone of interest. Now, we actually need to adjust our fibs. Now, remember, as we get pumpage, we need to start raising our fibs, and you can see we've got a little bit of a tie in here with the 236 and that rising trend as well. So first level of support for me, 89,600, then a little bit lower down. Let's highlight this guy for you. We are looking at 87K. Okay, so these are your big ones that you're going to be watching. I've also got an anchored VWAP in play here at 87K. So we don't really want to go much deeper than that. So right now, let's look for something along these lines. If they do start rolling us over a little bit here, then we'll see how it plays. And then upside targets for now, I'm going to show you a bit more in detail on that on the 3-day chart. In fact, I'm going to show you on the 3-day chart because there's some big numbers that we need to deal with. So currently, downside levels, we've got here 89,600 and 87K. That is what we're watching. And Ray and I have just tried a short using those 𝗙𝗥𝗚𝗘 daily pivots. We had the 𝗙𝗥𝗚𝗚 pivots highs there. And that's probably the best thing you can use if you don't have other levels. So here we are on Prime XPT. I've got a small short here. Let's see if this thing plays out for us. My TP zone is going to be roughly this first region here at 89K. If we start dipping lower and during the show, we'll see how that plays out. So that is that for now on Prime XPT. Now, I wanted to show you guys something hilarious because the other day we were talking about the market being so hot and the market just absolutely cooking. And it feels like we were in easy mode. Whatever trades we were opening were just absolutely ripping. And somebody made a nice little video for me, and I wanted to share it with you guys quickly. So give me a second here. Let's get this video up. And let's get this thing going here. Ray, just confirm that you can hear this thing. Okay, let me know if you can hear this. Okay, here we go.
You gave that trade. You gave
couple of bangers, guys. Look, I mean, to be fair, okay, I could have called a bag of dicks and that stuff would have pumped up. Bag of dicks, bag of dicks, bag of dicks. Dicks, bag of dicks, bag of dicks, bag of dicks, bag of dicks. To be fair, okay, I could have called a bag of dicks, bag of dicks. Let's go, bro. Let's fucking go. So guys, that is where we are. Okay, we had that phase in the market. You can call anything. You can call a bag of dicks, and it might even go up when things are this bullish here at the moment. So I'm just waiting for a meme coin. I need a meme coin called bag of dicks because I want to send somebody a bag of dicks. I mean, that would be amazing if we could do something like that. So I need that meme action in my life very soon. Okay, so let's go. Let's see what's going on here in the news. And oh wait, I feel like I'm trading in a cave here without my music. Hold on, let's get my music going. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, let's see what's going on. Tons of liquidations. Now remember the rules in the bull market here. You can still lose. You can get absolutely wrecked in the bull market. Now remember, bull market vibes, they pump you up. You get lots of late longers coming in, and then they flush you out, and then they send it up again. Then you feel like you've been stopped out, so you jump in again. You chase the green candles. What happens? They flush you out again. And this is what's going on here. So liquidation storm, $1 billion wiped out during that rally. Okay, more long positions than shorts got wiped out in that rally. So just remember, guys, bull market vibes. Be prepared. If you don't have amazing entries, again, I remind you, take profit, and make sure you are protecting yourselves with stops. If you are in loads of positions here at the moment, everything's rosy while it's green, but they come with one 10% candle, one 15% candle. All your things get flushed out, and then you are starting again from the beginning. So just play safe. I need to remind you every single time. Play safe. And then I was wondering, Ray, I wonder if this lady is going to come and talk to me. She says, so you went all in on Bitcoin at 15K when everyone else was scared. I love that story. Do you think, because this banger has just breached $100,000, okay? I'm wondering if she's going to come and start talking to me about my conviction on BTC. And my entry was, what was my entry? 62 or something. Where were we? 62K, okay? And I was still looking for that retest at 63. I was looking to buy more, but off she goes, okay? So I'm wondering now if she's going to come and try and invite me out for dinner. And then we can see the CPI, October CPI rises to 2.6%. It was exactly in line with expectations. And I think the market seemed to like that. We can see that the S&P has started to push up a little bit today after a tiny bit of downside yesterday. And we are still in our big target zone here, the 6,000 level that we are looking at the S&P. So all is well there at the moment. And then a reminder here, all traders now see a chance of Fed December rate cut at above 75% versus 60% before the inflation data came out. So pretty bullish information that is going on out there. And then as we can see, BTC obviously ripping on that news. And remember, don't forget to get your funding rate heat map out. Keep this thing close to you. When things get hot, you can use this as a nice guide. We used this very nicely in March when everything turned orange. That was danger. And we got in the period of 7 days. I remember in March at one point, or it was early April, on a Wednesday, they dumped Sol 25%. It did a V-shaped recovery. On the Saturday morning, they dumped it. It was morning for me. They dumped it 30%. And they absolutely obliterated everybody. So just remember, keep this chart close to you. When it's nice and yellow, you got to be extra careful, and they will come out and flush you before you can even blink. And then we've seen again, there's so much of this going on, and just another $1 billion getting casually minted there at Tether. So, we see this a lot. And then they come and they start pumping the price within 24 hours and things like that. And you can see this has now been going down. This was now this afternoon, but 2 days ago, we had another $2 billion getting printed. So they were obviously prepping for these types of moves that we are experiencing at the moment. And then we're talking about retail interest and meme coin searches. I dropped this today on Twitter, guys. Follow me on Twitter at the Lord of Entry. Meme coin searches on Google have just hit an all-time high, marking the peak interest here in the industry. I mean, that's actually unreal that these guys are so obsessed with meme coins, and it's showing here in banter bubbles. I mean, this is absolutely insane what is going on. A couple of years ago, our screens would have been full of things like XRP, IOTA, Phantom, what else? All those other shit coins, okay? All of it. Now it's like extreme shit coins. It's just meme coins everywhere, filling up our screen. So we know the stuff is hot and it's on. And then let's look at current liquidations. Now we've just pumped into a major level. We've taken out tons of liquidity to the upside. Now, if you look to the downside here, the scary one is sitting at about 85,800, 86K, a little bit of a danger zone there for us. So just, if we do get some downside, you can see this whole cluster here is getting very juicy now for the market makers to come down and just do a little bit of damage there when you might least expect it. Okay, so that is BTC covered. You can see our levels there as to why we thought there was a rejection zone. And then if we do go upside on this time frame, we can see 95K as our potential target. Now let's look at the daily, and this is the banger. I mean, we got our 1.618 fib bang into that 89K the other day, and we can use the 2.618 fib as well for our next target, and that for me is sitting at 113,000. So that is now locked in. Okay, whether we get there now or at a later date, that is now locked in for us. But something very interesting here that you can see is starting to play out for us. We've got some major support here now for BTC on the 3-day. This is going to be major weekly support. So when the wheels, or if the wheels ever come off, we know we've got a major level here at 72K. And the interesting thing is going to be when we start dragging our fibs from the lows to the highs, at some point when we do get that proper reversal, you're probably going to find we're going to have a 618 tied in there with that major support as well. So we're going to know that's another high conviction long zone for us at a later date when we need it. Okay, so when we eventually get down there, that is going to be a party zone. That is where we are really going to get stuck into things. Now, a couple of concerning things here, because you're going to notice, other than some of these meme coins, all these altcoins that we looked at yesterday, they haven't printed new highs. So BTC has printed new highs, but these altcoins are still technically in their downtrend now until they start breaking new highs. So we need to be very careful. We need to watch if there's a BTC rejection here. We've just got to make sure it's not that brutal that these alts start really looking to print new lows. And the first thing you can do here is watch dominance. And this is dominance on the weekly. And we indicated this weekly bounce that we were looking at recently. And that was obviously going to be bearish for alts. Then you saw the alt started bleeding a little bit. Now Bitcoin dominance turning super bullish, and we've broken through our major weekly level here. So this is a little bit of a concern for me, especially in the fact that if this pump now is happening with BTC and we get a BTC rejection now, okay, it's going to be interesting. This little move up to 62.4, or this little move up to 64.7 on dominance, if that is tied in with Bitcoin falling over, these alts are going to feel some pain, and there's going to be a lot of gains that get given up. So make sure you are watching this dominance chart at the same time with a BTC rejection. If this thing starts ripping higher, danger zone here for altcoins. If they're all moving up, if Bitcoin's ripping up at the same time and dominance ripping up, yes, altcoins will be fine. They won't outperform, but they'll be okay. Just be careful. If Bitcoin is falling over here and that dominance is ripping, these alts are going to feel a little bit of pain. And then here we are, a lot of pain actually. And here we are, ETH BTC, we are back at the lows. Okay, so we are back at our major weekly support. We're in the critical area here where we're saying we actually need a bounce now. Okay, we definitely need a bounce here to try and help the current situation. Otherwise, we're going to get a situation like this where we lose our weekly levels, and then things start looking a little bit dark and deadly there for ETH versus BTC. And that means obviously BTC is outperforming ETH. Now, ETH at the moment, you can see, is flat, and it's hovered around our first zone yesterday. So the first zone yesterday was 3,180, and we are still playing in that area. But just like I've explained, a lot of these altcoins, they haven't printed new highs. And I was saying in Sniper Club earlier today that we were expecting a short-term bounce in the market on some of the altcoins, but the 8-hour, the 12-hour, the dailies were basically telling us that there could be some more downside. So we just need to monitor these alts now carefully after this mini move that we've just had. And, we don't really want to see a situation where we start sticking in this type of downtrend now and drifting to those 618s and maybe 786s in some cases. So ETH traders, you've got your support here, 3,180. That is our first zone that we were looking at yesterday. Then lower down, 3,000. So no changes here just yet. This chart is as it was yesterday. No real changes. Tiny little move on ETH. And then let's deal with the other big dog. This is SOL. And as you can see, we've had a monster pump on Bitcoin, and SOL is still chilling here at 216. So no major pumpage on Solana. And I just want to point out another danger zone. If we do get a big push here, we do have a big danger zone. I've got big order blocks here on SOL at 250 to 255. That is a bit of a danger zone for SOL traders, maybe a potential TP zone if you are scalping and those types of things in these types of regions. And then our DGen setup for SOL, we just front ran that 198.2, the 199. I had limit orders set for 199, looking for this pickup here. And off she goes there without us. So right now you can see SOL needs to start pushing now. It needs to start printing new highs. Otherwise, if we get a rejection here, we're going to have a typical situation like that. And then we might start looking at these types of plays on some of these altcoins. So critical now for these alts. You can see a lot of them have this head and shoulders situation, and we need to start breaking this right shoulder. We need to start pushing higher now pretty soon. Otherwise, we might just find ourselves in a little bit of a downtrend. So right now, Sol traders, for me, big zone is still 198, 199. If we ping that area, that is a reaction zone for me. So if we hit that area, we'll most likely get a bounce out of that zone. Then I've got another banger for you, that massive level there, 181. That tied in with a nice weekly level for us for Sol traders. So 181, 199. These are the hot zones that I am watching now for Sol. And then let's start updating some of the trades from yesterday that I've been taking on WEEX'S, the DCA plays, and those types of things. Then I'm going to update you on some of the Bybit trades that I'm in at the moment. And then I want to chart some of your tokens. So do me a favor, jump in the comments here. Just Ray's going to start sifting through them, and Ray's going to look and let me know which ones we can chart. I want to do, Ray, I want to try and do 5 or 6 tokens from guys in the audience here, something that we don't normally do. So give me tokens that you don't see on my show too often. I really want to sort you guys out here and make sure that you have a couple of interesting setups. Okay, so let's talk WEEX'S competition. And okay, so we've got 235 members here in the WEEX'S comp at the moment. Remember, WEEX'S is well, they're an old partner of mine. They've been around for 8 months or 9 months, and they are KYC friendly exchange. They've just launched a competition. The prizes, you can win a trip to come meet us all in Cape Town. Okay, we're gonna hang out. So that is part of the prize pool here for you guys. So jump in here on WEEX'S, join us at the moment. And I closed my Pepe long that I was in yesterday. That you guys saw. I was on Pepe and WEEX'S, but after that pumpage we had today, I had to close that thing. It was quite a nice mover, and I'm coming fourth now in the competition, but this was my DCA account. I wasn't planning on having some type of rippage. We were looking to kind of pick up orders all the way down. It was going to be a slow burner, but this thing is now kicked on in this WEEX'S comp. So jump in, join us in the WEEX'S comp. You can see it's me, Sheldon, Kyle, Fefe, and Hustle is also involved in that. And for those of you that don't know about WEEX'S, if you join, there's a whole lot of ways you can make money in WEEX'S. They send you all types of bonuses. So if you want to, you can register and link your phone and KYC. They give you $100 for a KYC, then 100 to link your phone, then $20 first deposit bonus, 100 USD. You can see there's a whole list of things that they are basically trying to do here, throw money at you guys. So get involved with WEEX'S. They're making an aggressive move in the market, and they are trying to get loads of new traders on. So let's talk about some of these trades. So you can see what's left here. I've closed Ping, opened a new Ping this morning, dropped in Sniper Club. I said I was buying Ping. We had a nice bounce on Ping, so 20% move. I closed that one for profit. And then Pepe, massive mover. We're going to look at that chart now. I did close that Pepe one. So you can see I'm still in my Tao from yesterday. I did add a little bit to that position, and we nearly got stopped out there. If anyone had stopped at 519, you can see my stop was at 519 on this exchange, and they almost pinged that 519 and then did send it a little bit higher. So Tower is okay, and it's actually got a trend break at the moment. So if anybody is in this thing, you could potentially look to add if you've got a lower entry than me. My entry is basically on the trend retest. It's 547 now. So I'm not going to be adding until we get some kind of move out of that. So my stop is 519, no changes there. And then Brett missed a couple of buy orders. Look at this thing. We missed, let me just close that. We missed this one is 0.104 on Brett. Look at that. We kissed it twice, and it didn't take, unfortunately. So we didn't get that extra buy-in, but nice little move there from Brett. And then Nia, that's an underperformer at the moment. There might be a trade for Nia, okay, for you guys on this current retest. I'm going to look at that chart. And then Whiff, I mean, this is an absolute banger as well. This thing has taken off, and you can see we just missed those limit orders as well. It was absolute pain watching that not ping our orders there. So hopefully some of you guys do have some of these trades going on at the moment. And then Tyler D says it's just an insane night in the Solana meme trenches. Peanut runs to $1.3 billion market cap. It's unreal. Doge plus 1,500%. Georgie, ACT, Fred, Fartcoin. I mean, all these memes are ripping again. And, you know, start of the show. Look at this Brett. Okay, we looked at these levels on Brett yesterday, and I really hope some of you guys got a couple of entries when we did dip into this type of region. I just want to show you again this Brett level, and this was our anchored VWAP here. It was our horizontals, and it was our 0.5 fib coming into play there. So there was lots of confluence there on Brett for a possible bounce in that region. And again, reminder here, guys, when you're watching the show, sometimes we don't have live trades happening now, but if you take notes on them, you pick your favorite charts, you set your alarms, you get ready then when the market does fall over, you can get pinged when it's in those zones. Then you can make decisions. So sometimes you have to wait 24 hours. Sometimes you have to wait 48 hours for some of the entries that I give you. But when they hit these zones, they react off these areas, and Brett was no different. And you'll find a ton of these other coins as well really just exploded off these types of levels. Now, let's talk, let's just finish on Brett. So anybody trading Brett at the moment, you can see I'm in Brett on WEEX. I'm also in Brett still on Bybit here, and there it is. So yeah, I've still got that Brett. I added a little bit to it yesterday. That thing is still cooking here for us at the moment. But just with regards to targets and support now, we need to understand what is actually going on. So we haven't printed a new high just yet. You're going to see a lot of these altcoins haven't printed these highs. So if we do start pushing, I'm taking profit on Brett. I'm going to close that trade at 1.42. Okay, 1.427 is where I'm going to take profit. It's going to be the same play as 𝗙𝗢𝗘 the first time yesterday when we banged into a hot zone. You can see I've got a big hot zone here for Brett. So call it 0.143. Okay, nice little area there to take profit there. That would match that 𝗙𝗢𝗘 pump into that zone where we got that hard rejection the other day. So looking out for that one on Brett, and then key supports for us to the downside. Yes,
hold on.
Yes, sir.
Can we get a pump on the likes?
Guys, if you're enjoying the content, hit the like, hit the bell. Are you happy, AI Ray? Can you show everybody Rainbow Ray, please? I don't think the new people here, they just know AI Ray. Can we bring back Rainbow Ray? Okay, so Brett, guys, just to talk about supports again now, if we take a look here on this chart, we can see our major support is going to be this 382 pool now. We can see from our lows to our highs, and we're going to look at a nice little tie-in here. So we don't really want to go retest those lows just yet, but big support for us, 11113. So if you do get a push down now on Brett, that is what you're looking at. That's a nice juicy zone there for me where I would like to see a higher low there. So 11113 is what we want to be watching on Brett to the downside. But just a reminder, if we hit that 143, I am out. I'm taking profits there. And then let's talk 𝗙𝗢𝗘. Now, I mean, this thing was brutal with what went down, and a listing on Robinhood. Okay, so now things are cooking again. And we also saw ADA as well. And guys, believe it or not, can you believe this? The ADA girls, Bogdan, they messaged me yesterday. They're ready to come on the show. They sent me a DM. So we're going to get them back in action. And now, big levels for 𝗙𝗢𝗘. I closed that 𝗙𝗢𝗘 long when we come through. Well, we were about here. Okay, that was the high. I closed that 𝗙𝗢𝗘 long. Now we are looking for support buys on 𝗙𝗢𝗘. If you think this thing is going to carry on moving, well, we're going to play the same game we played with Doge. Now, Doge yesterday, we had an amazing bounce on Doge off a 236 pool on the weekly, and I suspect we might get a similar reaction on 𝗙𝗢𝗘. So if you are trading this 𝗙𝗢𝗘 at the moment, your first line of support, look at this banger zone here, is multiple zeros, 17. So if we do get this push down here, multiple zeros, 17, that is your first line of bullish support that you can play with. I suspect you get a nice little trade out of that one. And then secondary support for you guys, multiple zeros, 153. Okay, another beautiful area there for you guys. So just looking for that pullback now, and no new trade for me on 𝗙𝗢𝗘 until we come down to one of those zones. Then we can start looking at options. We can either look for a degen trade off one of those levels, or we can say, okay, a fair little pullback coming. Let's look for a DCA play. Let's try and build a position here if we believe this market can stay a little bit more bullish. So those are the first hot zones that I would be watching. And you can see both of them have got great horizontal tie-in. So things are looking good here on 𝗙𝗢𝗘. Things are lovely at the moment. Just time for a little bit of patience, and let it do its thing for now. If you are not in it, just be patient, and we should get some entries at some point. And then another banger here with absolutely taking off, and I've got my TP zone ready for WIF. I'm going to be taking profits if we do push higher, 4.04. I'm going to be out of WIF, so I'm just looking for that push. If we get it into that zone, I'm taking profits there, and we'll deal with it the same way with 𝗙𝗢𝗘. If it does blow through, then I'm going to look for that retest long. We'll look for that next trade setup. But right now, you know, nice little profits on WIF. If we push into that zone, don't want to give it up there. That is where I'm looking to jump out. Now, let's look at a couple of support zones for you guys. And what we can do is we can just zoom in a little bit on WIF. So if you're sitting in this position, these are some key levels that you want to pay attention to now, and that you want to see hold especially if you're in it and if you are looking for a new entry. If we do get a drop into these types of zones, this is where you are looking for your buys. Now you can see WIF has got a not bad, okay, it's not bad support here for WIF at this 3.38. That's a nice little zone there for us there. So similar to what you're seeing on Pepe. Remember, our 236 fib is our super bullish fib. I make them red because they are dangerous, because basically we need strong continuation there. So if we do get a dip here, sometimes we do get a nice hard bounce of those regions. But if they fail, you need to look at your next zone. And your next zone on WIF is going to be 3.09 or 3.1. That is a better level for me. I'm more comfortable at that type of region. You can see we've got great horizontal tie in here as well. Looking nice. 382 fib. So 3.1, banger. Next one, 3.38, banger. Okay, both of these areas exactly the same as Pepe. That is what you're looking for in those types of zones. Now remember, when we get these situations, you can see them drop into those zones. Then what you can do is you can dial in on the 1 hour, and you'll typically see some kind of reaction in that area. You can nibble when it hits those zones. So for example, let's take a look at this one. If we do start drifting lower, what typically happens here is you get a little wick down into that zone, then a little bit of pumpage, maybe a higher low, then a little test there, and then you get some kind of pop. And what you can do is you can look for buys on these lows in these types of things. And then when you get that trend break, you can add to your position and increase that size a little bit and then let it push higher up. So that is a strategy I like to employ. I nibble on these zones. When we get momentum, I add, and we try and grow that size very quickly and get the trade moving the way it should. Okay, so right now you can see WIF maybe trying to flag at the moment, but for me, there's no new trades here until it hits one of these levels. So it must either push into that zone for maybe a rejection, or it's got to drip a little bit lower there for me. And that is that on WIF. And then near traders, there could be a long here for you guys. Okay, so in fact, I'll do this with you. So you can see I'm in WEEX'S here at the moment. I'm trading near. So this was part of my DCA plan. And you can see it's been quite an underperformer. Here are my DCA orders. They are set. But if we're going to do this little move and we're looking for a little pump and we're adding, then this DCA thing is going to go out of the window because we're looking for a little bit of a move here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy more near on this region over here. So let's go, let's add to that position. It's 3,600. So let me double that size quickly. No, I'm going to do just a less than double because I want to keep my entry under that trend. So I'm going to add, let's add 1.5 here. Let's see what where that takes my average entry. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so right now you can see I've got an average entry just under that trend break. Now we're going to look at near, and we're going to see why this is an interesting zone for me. So number one, we've got a trend break. So we've had our move this morning off one of our hot zones. You can see we had a little W formation. Now we've broken a trend. We are retesting. Why is this interesting to me? We've got the 200-day MA as support here. We've got an anchored VWAP as support. We've also got a trend line as possible support. So that for me tells me there could be a little move higher, provided BTC doesn't come and absolutely right. They're going to rinse me again. Provided BTC doesn't come and flush to the downside. If this thing keeps moving, then we should see a nice little retest here on near, and then maybe a push higher. So a lot of the other tokens have run. Okay, they've run really nicely. Near not doing much at the moment, so I've added to it. Let's have a go. And then stop options. Let's see what we can look at. So safest stop option, I would say candle close under 5.157. If you get the candle close under that region, then it's possibly wants to send a little bit lower. And depending on how much leverage you're using, if you're a high leverage trader, that 5.157 is probably your safest play. If you're a low leverage or margin trader, you can look at this and say, okay, well, I've got pretty big support at about 4.9 that you can start working with. And then a little bit lower down, I've got quite a big level at 4.7 for you guys. Remember, we strategically placed that entry at 4.7 because that's the 50-day MA. That's a bit of a hot zone for us as well. So big support level here, 4.9 and then 4.7. Those are big areas there. And degens and scalpers, if you want to have a go, you can see why this might make sense on near. So 200-day MA, anchored VWAPs in play. Let's see if we get a little bit of momentum. Where can near go to? Let's zoom out quickly. Okay, a hard break of this 200-day MA will be pretty decent on near. And then we're going to look at a couple of interesting levels to the upside. So here's a nice zone for us there. And then right now you can see we are at a zone of interest here. We are at a little bit of a danger zone. So that's why if we get this trend break and it starts ripping, we're going to start looking at these types of levels later on. So let's first get this, get the engine moving. Let's see if there is something in the tank here on near, and then we're going to look at 5.8, we're going to look at 6.27, and then if it really starts ripping, the whole market's going to have to be pumping for that 8.2. So right now I would say your best bet here, 5.8 and 6.3 is what you can look at. On here, any more than that, I would say is a bonus. And if the trade starts moving, just make sure you tighten up your stops a little bit there. Keep it safe. Okay, you don't want to get rinsed on something like near for no reason. Okay, so, okay, go for near. And then, yeah, we can talk ping. And you can see ping was in an interesting zone. I gave you guys this level yesterday, the 1.8, 0.18 zone. So hopefully some of you guys took that buy on ping at 1.8. Now we've pushed into a horizontal resistance. I closed it there. That is a hot zone. It's a rejection zone. So no new trade yet for me on ping. Let's see what how this plays out. For me, there could be another trade at 1.8, or alternatively, if we push higher, I'm going to look for a trade at about 2.1 for the next move on ping. So just be patient now. It must either break above this resistance, retest, or it must drift a little bit lower for me, and then we can find a new setup. I see Alan liked that video. such quality, Alan. But yeah, really, guys, we are in that. We're definitely in that phase. Like, say, you know, you open a few trades and they all start popping off, and then yeah, there you go. It's cooking. Okay, guys, keep these charts coming through. And we're gonna chart some of yours now in a couple of minutes. Okay, here's 𝗙𝗦𝗘. This was from yesterday as well, and you can see no changes here. Stop for me is at 519. You can see why this was a hot zone, and we have reclaimed our 50-day MA. We have reclaimed 539. So anybody trading 𝗙𝗦𝗘, you can see my concern. Okay, if we reject at those highs, we are in some kind of downtrend. Okay, so we can expect something like that still. We can't write this off on the altcoins that we can see a little bit more downside. So look out. If 𝗙𝗦𝗘 starts pushing 600, big level here, 600 must blow. It's got to blow for us to be super bullish. And you're going to see it's going to be very similar with a lot of these other altcoins. What you're seeing here, I've just shown you on Sol and you know, a couple of these others. We could be starting this downtrend. So as sooner we break these highs, the better. And right now for me, support 539, and a little bit lower down, you've got your 519, which I'm using as a stop. And then 𝗙𝗦𝗘, 487. Those are the big zones you need to worry about. If we start drifting lower, 487, 519, 539. Those are the big ones that you can play with at the moment. And then when we get momentum, you know the drill. We'll break through horizontals. We can break trends. Then we can start adding to these positions. Mr. 100 says Polygon, huge move coming. Is that Matic? Yes, it might actually be Matic. Okay, let's talk some of these trades. So Phantom, you can see Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. I took that off my level that I gave you guys yesterday. So hopefully some of you guys took that level. Ray, did you take the Doge trade off that level that I gave yesterday? Is that a no? Well, he's not. He didn't take it. He didn't take it. So,
I did not take the Doge trade.
Raymond. Okay, so Doge I took off the levels. Then AR and Phantom I didn't actually have on the show, but they also dropped into the same levels that I gave you for all of these other tokens, their corresponding levels. Remember, when these altcoins drop into these big zones that you see, yesterday we looked at Link, we looked at Injective, we looked at AVAX, we looked at Tons, and they all have corresponding support levels. So it's quite funny, these altcoins, when they start falling over, they all react in corresponding levels. Some of them might have the 100-day MA as support with horizontals, the other might have a VWAP with a 50-day MA, but they all react in the same type of levels. So it's always the same principle. So if we're looking for a reversal in the market, it's generally applicable to all these general altcoins that you guys are trading as well. And the principle is the same. So I did 𝗙𝗡𝗡, exactly the same principle. I grabbed Doge off my level, and I grabbed Phantom off my levels here. So we're going to talk about that now. And then just to cover, I'm still in this AVAX short. I've just added to the AVAX short. It's a head short. You can see my AVAX long is cooking, but just in case there's a reversal in the market, I'm still in that short. So I just added a little bit, and you can see I'm getting paid to be in that short at the moment. So that's quite pleasing. And what else have I got? I'm still in a hedge Sol short, which is turning red. So I'm probably going to get rinsed on that one, but my sole long there is obviously absolutely cooking there at the moment. So that is the plan. And then let's talk Doge. So yesterday we looked at this 347 or 35 level, and the reason being it was nice tie-in on our super bullish 236 fib from the absolute lows of Doge. And we had nice weekly support here as well. And then if we dial into Doge on the 8 hour, we can see what happened here. So nice bullish pullback. And this is the same example that I want you guys to use for WIF, that I want you to use for Peppy that I've just shown you. We've got these 236s that could offer you some kind of reaction. So let's just go on a lower time frame here. There we go. And you can see what happened. So we had a couple of bumps onto that 236. Look at that 236 fib play, and slowly started building a position now earlier today. So just added, and then you get a little trend break. You can add a little bit more, and then off she goes. So it's a nice little strategy, and this is why I like catching these reversals on these big zones. So you can often get ahead of the game. If you can spot these major reversal zones, you can nibble in these areas, start building your position so that by the time it breaks a trend, you're already ahead of the curve. And then you can add to that position, and your average entry is probably below that trend, and you are de-risked, and then that thing is absolutely flying. So that is the game plan I'm employing on, well, as you guys know me, whoever's watched me for the last year, but that is what I did with Doge this morning. And upside targets now, we need to get cracking. Okay, so you can see we do have a trend break, so that is a good start. The Department of Government Efficiency doing its thing, and we've got a trend break now. And then upside targets for us for Doge, 45, 48. Okay, those are the levels I'm watching right now. So if we do get a little flag here, and let's say we start taking off, 45, 48 is what I'd like to see. And then with regards to support, I would say 38. I don't really want to dip much lower than 38. Let's just put some fibbage here. Let's just make sure we got a picture as to where our fibs are. So we go from the lows to the highs, bang, and then we can identify a couple of hot zones. So short-term support on the 1 hour for Doge traders, short-term support, 0.402 and 0.383. Okay, those are your short-term degen support levels. So if we get a little dip here on Doge, you could expect some kind of reaction there, or alternatively 38287. Okay, these are your degen support levels. Major support for me on Doge is 35. Okay, so if the wheels fall off, 35 is where you're looking again on Doge. Let's go AVAX. Okay, typical AVAX reaction. Look at this thing. Okay, all we do, fibs from low to high, bang, there it is. 382 tied in with horizontals, reaction zone for us. Now, yesterday we were looking at WaveMaster screaming at us. Look at this thing. They desperately wanted to send this thing down. Now, WaveMaster calls the bottoms. You can see, calls the bottoms very nicely. Look at that. And it calls the tops very nicely. So this gives me another picture as well, telling me that on the 4 hour chart, we could still see a little bit more downside on WaveMaster. Now, what does that equate to? If the market is kind to us, it might just be something like this, you know, just messing around here and then a nice pump. If the market is going to be rough, okay, and we get a sell-off on BTC, then we're looking at 30. Then we're looking at 28. But these are all banger zones here. These are all big reaction zones, and I would expect the same type of thing that we're seeing here off some of these zones to the downside. So just to give you some AVAX levels, if you are sitting in it at the moment, 31.87, 30, and 28.2. Now, 28.2 is an absolute banger. It's the 200-day, it's the 50-day, it's the 618. It's an absolute war zone there of excitement for us if we do get a drop into that type of level, and most likely it gets tied in with this WaveMaster resetting. So look out, just keep your eyes on these oscillators. Now you can use the regular RSI, you can use stochastic RSIs and things like that, and you're going to find if you're using the stochastic, the 4 hour got reset today, the 8 hour was nearly reset, but the 12 hour and the dailies are still sitting a bit high as well, and they could also be telling us a story. So let's just look at these stocks quickly. Remember, the stocks can give us a story. They can give us short-term reversals as well, and they can give us bigger picture reversals. And if you look on the daily here, the stochastic is sitting at the top. Okay, so that stochastic on the daily, it wants to come a little bit lower. You can see when it gets to the top, what happens. Sometimes it carries on for a while, then there's a dip. So you can see, here's a nice example. It got to the top, small little dip, and then they pumped it higher, small little dip, pumped it higher. So that scenario could also be playing out for us, but we got to just use what we have in front of us. And you can see that daily starting to turn over a little bit. The 12-hour also wants to come a little bit lower. And if the market is kind to us, like I said, we should hold the 31. If it gets bad, you're looking at 30, you're looking at 28.3. Just make sure your alarms are on. Make sure you are ready to react if the market falls over. Make sure you do all your prep work before. It's very important when the market is falling over. Sometimes it gets a bit stressful because then you start scrambling and you don't know what tokens you want to trade and all these things. So make sure you do something like I do. Preset all your levels, have alarms in good areas. So when you spot that dump or you spot that pullback, you know exactly the tokens you're buying and you are ready to act on those zones. So just do a little bit of the homework early. And when you get these meltdowns, you are prepped and you are ready to grab these things on these hot zones. And then Phantom, another example, why I bought Phantom. So dip into our 0.5 fib. So anybody watching this one, 50-day moving average. Okay, nice little level there. Horizontal tie in here for us as well. So Phantom traders, we can see 0.686. That is now your big support that you're going to be watching. And what did BlackRock announce? Just announced digital liquidity fund on ARB. Yeah, it's cooking. Okay, yeah. Ray, we make sure we do Arbitrum. Okay, so Phantom traders 686. That is your support level now. And you can see similar situation here. I've got Wavemaster turning over a little bit, maybe saying there's a little bit more downside. So what these alts need to do super quickly, and you've seen it on Sol as well, we need to start firing. Okay, we need to start breaking new highs pretty quickly. Alternatively, we're going to be faced with something like this, you know, maybe that rejection, and then we start this type of process. So just look out. This process is still on the table here for us for these altcoins at the moment. So just be careful with your trading. Obviously, you know, we can't guarantee the alts are going to rip. We know Bitcoin is now pushing new highs. Dominance is a problem for us. Let's keep our eyes on dominance. And then 𝗙𝗢𝗘𝗏 as well, exactly the same story. So we're just going to shoot through this one too. Look at this. Nice horizontals in play. Typical reaction zone. Look at that, 382 fib, and the thing's just coming all together. So you noticed all the altcoins dropped into hot zones yesterday. 𝗙𝗢𝗏, typical one, 17.38. That is your support that you're going to be watching today. And upside targets here, 19. Okay, so if we get that rejection on 19, similar situation. We start a little downtrend. So look out for that. And then you could have a situation like this on 𝗙𝗢𝗏. That is still on the table. So we really need to print those highs. But right now, if you're trading 𝗙𝗢𝗏, 17.38, that is the support you need to watch. If we fall over, 15.5 is going to be your next reaction zone. That is your next potential long zone there on any dips. 15.5, nice little zone there. 618, horizontal, banger little area there on 𝗙𝗢𝗏. Now, let's talk poppies. The ZoomX comp is nearly finished, okay? DJ David, 1000%, absolutely nailed that thing. And Popcat, I must say, if I'd chosen Peppy or I'd chosen Brett, we'd be absolutely flying. But Popcat, slow burner, okay? So I've added to my Popcat now after that little bounce. I'm hoping to make my appearance back in the top 10 on a nice, strong Popcat push. So anybody trading Popcat, you see yesterday, nice reaction off that 618 fib. What did we do? One bounce, higher low there, and then a little send there on Popcat. So let's see how this goes. I'm banking on this thing running a little bit higher. If we do break those highs, I want to see a performance like Brett, like Peppy, like Whiff that are really starting to cook. And we've got 3 days left in that comp. So I'm looking for one Hail Mary trade, and we've ridden this thing out right to the end. When we get that opportunity now in the next 2-3 days, it's a Hail Mary trade coming, and we're just going to wait for that setup, and we're going to fire off a nice big position here, hopefully on Popcat. It's going to be long or short. We're going to have to see what it's going to be, but the Hail Mary move is coming. And then my pussy bot that I keep telling you about, it's still under trial. I'm going to release this pussy bot for you. It's coming soon. And it's not an actual bot. It's basically coding for you that has been back tested and all these things. And you can see it's busy running at the moment. Look at this. It made me $100. I haven't done a thing. I just put some money in an account running the pussy bot, and I've got $100. So all this cool stuff is coming for you guys very soon. Just watch this space. I'm bringing you some amazing shit. And then last one, Link. Yesterday, Link, we looked at 13. Nice banger zone. Okay, so all these altcoins doing the same thing now, reacting off our reaction zone. Link 13, 200-day MA, 382 horizontals, anchored VWAP, bang. Okay, 13, nice little zone there for Link. And exactly the same story. Resistance at 15. If we don't break that resistance, we're looking at a lower high there potentially, and then we start this little journey to the downside. So just be aware of what is going on. We know Bitcoin is cooking. Let's just have a bigger picture here on these altcoins and understand that there could be a little bit more downside before we get our proper rockets out of these things. Danny says she's nervous about her longs. Danny, look, I must say, after that pump today, I felt a little bit underexposed because I saw Pepe ripping, I saw Brett ripping, all these things, and I thought, shit, I didn't get enough. And then I just zoomed out and I looked at these charts and I said, actually, just hang on. Let's not get too stressed yet. These alts, they haven't printed new highs. They've just reacted off a 1 hour and a 4 hour reversal zone for now. Okay, if they do start getting a little bit more energy, what we can do is when we break those zones, we know we can use resistance as support later for some great trades. So right now for me, I'm leaving my DCA strategy there on WEEX, looking for those buyers lower down. If the market starts ripping higher, well, guys, I'm here tomorrow. We're going to plan our next game plan on these things. So don't stress, okay? Just don't stress about that stuff. And the market is going to be here for a while, and we're going to sort you guys out. Okay, Ray, let's hit some tokens. What do you got for me there?
Aptos, number 1.
Okay, let's go. So Aptos, what's the other one?
Next one after that will be Arbitrum.
Okay, those are bangers.
Number 3 will be Stacks.
Okay, let's start with those. And then, okay, so Aptos, Arbitrum, and Stacks. Let's get these up for you guys. Okay, so here is Aptos. We haven't looked at this one in a while. We did look, when we did trade it, or when we did look at it, we looked at some reaction zones. I mean, this thing absolutely fired you off some of these areas. What are the first thing we want to do? We want to zoom out. We want to understand where we are in the bigger picture. Where are we in the grand scheme of things? And where could we find ourselves trouble or not? Now, I saw there was a bit of a sell-off today on Aptos, I believe. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so we just want to look at reaction zones. No surprises, okay? Never be surprised for a 618 fib rejection. You saw it on Pepe the other day. I think it was the 786. And you can see that is why that is my target on whiff that I showed you earlier. Nice little play there. So 618, resistance incoming there. And you can see on the daily. So big resistance, 13.6. Now let's take a look. Let's dial in a little bit here. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, and you can see what's going on here. We've printed a lower high. Okay, so that's not a good start. You can see, let's see, we've got our fibs from the, look at that, another 618, bang. Okay, look at that, 618 rejection. Okay, now we are making our way down. Okay, so for now, we are in a confirmed downtrend on Aptos. And let's look at some zones of interest. So let's get this going here. Let's find you some hot zones. Let's find you some bangers. Okay, interesting to note. Look at that reaction off our anchored VWAP. Nice little move over here. Okay, nice support play there. Anchored VWAP. We've recovered the 11.7382. Okay, let me just clean this up. Give me 1 second. I want to make you a beautiful and neat chart here. Okay, clean that all away. Okay, so big zone for me on Aptos. 10.18. Okay, nice little area. So you can see what's going on here. We've dropped. Okay, we've reacted off a nice little zone. First little bounce. Okay, if we do come down, now there's a couple of scenarios here. You can see there's a reaction so far. So this could be a situation where we now have a confirmed downtrend. We need to pay attention. If this downtrend is going to play out, your next bounce zone, 10.2 on Aptos. 10.2, watch that area. Nice tie in here. 618 action as well. So 10.2 is your next big zone to the downside. And that would typically, you know, could be a move like that. And then we go bang into that. And then we start taking off. So that is your major one to the downside, 10.2. And then what we have here is we've got our 382 fib. And we can use this as temporary support for now. So let's look at holding 11.7. Okay, we want to print a higher low here. So if we do drop lower, look out for a move into this zone. So look out for that. You want to print that higher low, and then we can print a new high there, and then maybe we can start a little trend to the upside. So right now, to keep the bull source in play, 11.7. Let's try and hold 11.7. Maybe that starts some short-term uptrend there for us. Alternatively, if the market falls over, your levels that you need to watch are 11.7 and 10.2. That's what you need to know for now. And I think you'll get a nice move off this area And, worst case, if we do react there, you'll probably get about a 10 or 15% bounce off that 618. So something to look forward to there on Aptos. Let's do Arbitrum. Okay, let's clean this chart. Okay, let's go daily. Let's see what's going on here. Big picture. So you can shoosh. Okay, so Arbitrum's got a long way to go. Now, Arbitrum's been absolutely abused because of the ETH situation. Nobody's been trading ETH. There's been no ETH love. And Arbitrum, it needs to run on ETH strength. That's pretty much what you want to see. But I've heard tons of good things about it. So I think it is a player when ETH wakes up properly. And we have seen sparks of ETH. We know ETH is starting to wake up, and we know retail interest and all types of interest is coming back into ETH. So I wouldn't write off Arbitrum at all. What I would say here, there's upside targets for you on a perfect world: 1.65, 1.12. Okay, beautiful upside targets there on Arbitrum, but you've got a lot of work to do. Okay, so in the short term, let's look at some short-term targets here on Arbitrum. Okay, absolute banger here, 75. Okay, 75, target zone 1. Okay, these are bangers. These are bangers here. 95. Okay, 75, 95. These are your upside targets there for Arbitrum. Now let's dial in on a little bit more of a degen look at things. Also interesting here, we've broken a trend. Okay, look at that. Nice little retest. Okay, that's looking cute. Let's see what type of support we have. Okay, not amazing tie in there on the daily. Let's just highlight this zone. Okay, I don't think we want to really go back here too soon, but you can see there was a big wick to the downside. So 5468 is an interesting zone for me. Let's drop our 0.5 in here. Remember, this 0.5 fib can come in handy as well. And you can see nice little test there on the 0.5 and horizontals. Banger. Okay, so 0.57, that is your big support you watch for now. Okay, nice little buy up on that wick as well. 50-day MA trend, 0.57, that's your big level. Now let's just go a little bit more degen, and let's see if we can cater for the savages, okay, the mentally disturbed that like to trade super high leverage, like me and Ray. Basically, it's the same thing. Let's go VWAPs here. Let's just drop that in a nice zone.
Okay, guys, by the way, you can see a lot more of this in Sniper Club.
Remember, guys, all these charts go directly after the show into Sniper Club. So you'll have access to these. Okay, so degen support. Okay, for all the degens out there, a big level for me, 0.605. Okay, I like that. 0.605. Let's just clean that. Degen traders. Okay, if you get a little dip here, that is your first line. You're looking for some action there. 0.605. Watch that area there. Nice little support. Horizontals, 0.5 fib, VWAP. If you lose that, you're most likely coming to this 5750. Okay, 5750 is probably your next level. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys. You've got your upside targets in play, and you've got your downside. Degen support 605 and then 5750. Ray, what the other one was? Stacks, huh?
Yes, sir. Our Bitcoin short is holding on.
Oh my God, look at this retest. Okay, so Stacks, I haven't looked at this one in a while, but look at this retest here. I just want to show you guys the power of this. Retest of 200-day MA, 50-day MA trend. Okay, banger, absolute banger here on the daily. Now, let's just adjust these things and start looking at what is going on. Remember, Stacks is a nice play on BTC strength. And in March, I mean, Stacks really started waking up when there was a sniff of BTC strength. So I think Stacks will come back, and will come back properly at some point. You can see there was a lot of action here up to March, late March. Look at the size of these moves that we got out of this thing, 195% from January, okay, to March. So I think this is on the table for Stacks when these altcoins wake up properly, and they haven't woken up properly. For those of you that think that they've woken up, they have not woken up yet. This was just a test of what could be coming. Let's go. So we've got our fibs from our lows to our highs. Let's just tie it in with some horizontals. Okay, as long as we got tie in, you just want to see tie in to create your hot zones here. There we go. Okay, so first line of support for Stacks, 1.95. Okay, 1.95. You can see we're trying to reclaim that area. Okay, super big bounce, nicely bought up there for me. So 1.95, you can see why that's an interesting zone. Tons of horizontals here in play. They're talking to us. They're telling us, you know, if we can reclaim this, then we start our journey to the upside there. So let's see if that can hold. That's your first line. And then the best thing I can do is give you your wick lows. Your wick lows was 1.82. 1.82, that's your wick low. Massive support there for me on stacks. So those are your best two levels that you can play with now. At the moment, upside target is 2.45, but we really need momentum now. We really need to get this market going, and then we want to push. Now, it's been all about BTC and the altcoins feeling pressure now. Okay, that dominance is pumping. When that dominance stops, when that dominance reverses, these alts rip again. Okay, so just be patient there and keep your eyes on that. What was the other token there, Ray? What else can we chart?
Next one, let's go with FET.
What?
FET.
FET. Oh, sure. Yeah, FET. Nice one. Okay. I haven't looked at this one in a while. Nice AI play, Fetch. Ooh, okay. Bit of a mess, this guy. Okay, let's see. It's not a good performer. Wow. Fetch. Really, Fetch. I expected way more. I expected way more from Fetch. Jeez. Okay, that's interesting. Not a good look at the moment. So let's take a look here. What have we got? Trend. Okay, this is us on the daily. That's a massive sell-off. That is not a good look at all. Yeah, not a good look. Okay, first line of support, Fetch traders. 1.2. Okay, 1.2 is what you're watching. That is your first line of support. I like it because it's 786 major zone. Trend, major zone, and some horizontals here. So 1.2, nice zone of support here for Fetch. Let's just take a look at what these other guys are telling us. Let's see what WaveMaster tells us. Okay, WaveMaster still turning over on the daily. Okay, WaveMaster still saying it wants to come down. Let's see what else we got here. Let's look at a lower time frame. I want to look at 4 hours. I want to see if we're going to get some kind of reversal there. Okay, 4 hours looking better. Okay, 4 hours not quite there, but it's looking better. Look at the last time we got these bottoms on the 4 hour. We did get some upside out of Fetch. Look at that there. Okay, we are getting that bottoming out vibe going on here, but I think a little bit more time. So I think Fetch, I think there's a trade on Fetch. Okay, I think there's one coming, but I think you need to wait for this dip. You want to go a little bit lower. So for me, Fetch feels like it wants to come here. Okay, I would say 1.2, 1.18, that type of level on Fetch. Maybe you want to have a look there. Just watch that oscillator. It's not quite at the bottom. Guys, remember this oscillator and all these things I use, all these exchanges, everything that I'm using is sitting in the show description. Just go under the show description there. If you want action here, everything from Prime XBT that I've taken that short on is there. WEEX'S, ZoomX, MDX Algo, the WaveMaster I've just shown you, Easy Algo, where we shorted it from, that daily pivot that we used. That is all here in the show description for you. Just jump into that shopping list. It is all there. Okay, Ray, give me one more. Give me one more.
Ordi is my favorite.
Okay, Ordi, let's go.
I got a nice move on it today. It's pretty solid.
Ooh, little bang. Okay, so nice support here. This is Ordi on the 8 hour. Let's just go Ordi on the daily. Okay, nice. Looking bullish. Now, Ordi is a meme. It's a meme on BTC, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's Sats. Ordi is on.
What is Ordi then?
This is Ordinals. The Bitcoin Ordinals, like the NFT.
But it's on Bitcoin, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a BTC play. It's supposed to be a BTC strength play. Okay, there we go. Oh, jeez, this is such a banger.
It was a banger.
Oh,
I was trying to tell you about it yesterday.
Oh, this is major. Okay, 36.2 is banger support here. Okay, that is it's proper nice support there. 50-day MA, 200-day MA, 618. You got so much happening there at 36.2. And then upside targets here. Let's take a look. You can see we got a problem there. Okay, so we really got work to do pretty soon. We got to do some work up there. Let's just take a look at these highs. Okay, so look, 36.2, that is your first line of support. That is a big one. Okay, we know that. We've now reclaimed 40. Let's see if we can reclaim this area here. So look for some structure on a lower time frame here. Let's look on a 4 hour. You want to see some action. Here we go. Look for a trend break here. Okay, look for something like this. Okay, if we get a clean trend break here, then what you're going to do is you're going to bang your stop under one of these lows, one of these candle lows here you can use. So if you get a nice break, look at something like this. Okay, somewhere there. Or alternatively, one of those is going to be your stop. But first things first, you want to get a nice push here. You want to get a nice break out of this type of region there, because you're going to look for something like that typically to play out, okay? So look out for now. You might have something like this, okay? Inverse head and shoulders. So if we get a little bit of weakness now, okay, there's no trade just yet. If we get a little bit of a weakness, you could maybe start looking around there, okay? Or if we get a pump, then you wait for that push. Just wait for that push through, and then you can bang out a stop at 40.9 or 39.8. That could be potential stop zones for you on the breakout play. If you do get a little bit of weakness, there could be a degen play brewing for you guys. Look at this. Look at the 618 here. Okay, that 618 is tying in nicely with this side of things as well. So if you get a bleed out into that zone, you can maybe look for buys in that type of area there, around 39.40. If you bleed in there, that could be something that could tee you up for a little bit of action. Okay, Ray. Well, there you go. There's your trade.
Nicholas. Welcome.
There's your trade. There's your trade. Wooden Nichols. Wooden Nichols. Welcome to the party. Okay, guys, we smashed 1 hour. Okay, that's a long session. Okay, you've got my sentiments on everything. You've got your BTC levels. You understand where I'm at with the alts, what I'm thinking at the moment. So these alts must wake up and they must pump. Okay, or we might be running out of momentum, a little bit more downside. Whatever happens, I'm back tomorrow. We reassess, we replan, and we execute. Okay, we'll see you guys later.
What an awesome show. I really enjoyed that.